So, Jake, I was looking at the text message you sent me yesterday. You said, "Meet me on the cafe in Main Street at the morning."
Wait, did I actually type that? Okay, that is a disaster. I was rushing, and I think I just threw every preposition at the screen.
You did. You used in, on, and at. And amazingly, every single one was in the wrong spot.
Hey, prepositions are hard. It is just a guessing game for most people. Sometimes you are in a car, but on a bus. Why? It makes no sense.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday English Learning, the podcast that helps you stop guessing and start speaking.
Hello, I'm Jake.
And I'm Lily. Today, we are finally fixing the most common frustration in English, which is choosing between in, on, and at.
I know so many learners who freeze in the middle of a sentence because they do not know which tiny word to choose. In Friday, on Friday, at Friday.
Exactly. And the problem is that most people try to memorize long lists of rules and exceptions. That is exhausting, and it usually fails.
Yes, it is. But today, we have a shortcut. We are going to give you one simple mental image that solves both time and place.
And later, we will explain the crazy reason why you are in a car, but on a bus. But first, let's fix that terrible text message you sent me.
All right. Where do we begin?
Let's begin with the biggest mistake people make. When you learn English, you probably try to translate prepositions directly from your native language.
Oh, absolutely. I do that when I study Spanish. If one word means in, I just use it for everything. But in English, that system crashes immediately.
It completely crashes. English prepositions are not about direct translation. They are about how specific you are being. So, I want you to picture a giant upside-down triangle.
Okay, I am picturing a triangle. The wide part is at the top, and the sharp point is at the bottom.
Exactly. That triangle is the secret to everything. We use it to zoom in from very general information to a very specific point. Let's look at time first. The top, the widest part, is the word in.
So in is for the biggest blocks of time, like years and months. In 2026, in October, in the summer.
Yes, those are huge buckets of time. We also use in for general parts of the day. In the morning, in the afternoon.
Aha! So when I texted you at the morning, I took a giant block of time and tried to squeeze it into a tiny point.
You did. You basically tried to balance a giant boulder on a tiny needle.
Okay, that is a great image. I was definitely panicking yesterday. I was walking fast, holding a coffee, and just guessing.
Well, let's fix it. As we move down the triangle, the space gets narrower. We are getting more specific. This middle section is the word on.
Okay, if years and months are at the wide top, what goes in the middle? Days?
Exactly. Days and dates. Anytime you are talking about one specific calendar day, you use on. On Friday. On October 12th. On my birthday.
That makes sense. We narrowed it down from a whole month to just one day. What happens at the very bottom of the triangle?
That sharp point is the word at. We use at for exact, specific moments. Usually, the exact time on the clock.
Got it. At 3 o'clock. At noon. Because those are not broad blocks of time. They are exact points.
You nailed it. You zoom in. General is in, specific days are on, and exact times are at.
Wait, what about something like the weekend? Is that a day or a broad block of time?
In American English, we treat it like a connected day, so we say on the weekend. British English speakers usually say at the weekend.
See, that is why people go crazy. But if I stick to the American version, on the weekend fits perfectly in the middle of our triangle.
It does. If you keep that mental image, you will get it right almost every time.
Okay, I feel much better about time. The top is in, the middle is on for days, and the bottom point is at for clock times.
Perfect summary, but we still need to fix the rest of your text message. You also messed up the locations.
Right. I said on the cafe in Main Street. Does the same triangle apply to places?
It absolutely does. The logic is identical, but geography is physical, which means things get slightly more complicated.
Oh no, I knew there would be a catch. What is the problem?
The catch is that geography is physical space. But let's look at the triangle first. The logic is exactly the same as time.
Okay, the wide top of the triangle is in. For time, that was years and months. What is it for places?
Big geographic areas with borders, countries, states, and cities. You are in Japan, in California, or in London.
Right, I am inside those borders. What about a park?
A park is a defined area with borders, so we say in the park, just like a forest.
That makes sense. So, what goes in the middle of the triangle? The word on.
Yes, on is for streets and surfaces. Think of it like a line or a flat space. You put a cup on the table or a picture on the wall.
Wait, what if I am outdoors? Like an island or a farm?
Those are open surfaces, so you use on. Originally, a farm was just an open piece of land. You work on the land, so you work on a farm.
Ah, so my text message yesterday said, in Main Street. But a street is a surface I walk on. It should be on Main Street.
Exactly. You are on the street, not inside it. Unless you fell into a giant hole, which would be a completely different problem.
Fair point. Okay, so on Main Street is correct.
Yes. Now let's go to the sharp bottom point of the triangle, the word at. For places, it is an exact point on a map, like a GPS pin.
Like an exact address. So if I say at 550 Main Street or at the traffic light, those are map pins.
Exactly. They are specific destinations.
Okay, wait. My text said on the cafe, but a cafe is a specific point on the map, so it should be at the cafe.
You got it. Let's meet at the cafe on Main Street. You gave me the exact map point and the street it is on.
Wow, the triangle works perfectly. So what was the catch you mentioned?
The catch happens with physical containers. Let's look at yesterday again. You texted me to meet you at the cafe. I stood outside on the sidewalk, freezing. I was at the cafe.
Right. I gave you the map point, and you arrived.
But I texted you, "Where are you?" And you replied, "I am at the cafe."
Yes, because I was. Well, technically, I was inside, eating a warm croissant.
Exactly. At just gives me the map point, but you had crossed the threshold into the building. You were in the cafe.
I see. If someone calls me, I can say, I am at the library to give my general location. But if a friend is looking for me outside, I would say, I am in the library to tell them I am inside the building.
Perfect distinction. You use at for the destination and in for the physical container.
That container idea helps. But wait, this brings up the absolute worst problem in English: transportation.
I know exactly what you are going to say.
Transportation is a nightmare. A car is a container. A bus is a container. But the rules are completely different.
They are. You sit in a car, but you sit on a bus.
Why? If I am inside the metal box, why am I not in the bus? I am not riding on the roof.
I always picture that. Just someone riding on the roof of an airplane, holding on for dear life.
That is what on a plane sounds like to a beginner. Why do we say it?
There is actually a logical physical rule for this. It is a fun test you can do in your imagination.
A physical test? Okay, I am ready. How do I know if I am in a vehicle or on a vehicle?
Okay, here is the physical test. Picture yourself getting into a normal car. Once you are inside, can you stand up and walk around?
Definitely not. Unless I want to hit my head on the roof or crawl awkwardly.
Right. You have to crouch down, get inside, and stay in your assigned seat. That makes it a tight container. So you are in a car, in a taxi, and in a small helicopter.
Okay, I am safely in a car. I understand the container idea. Now, what about a public bus or an airplane?
Do the test again. When you get on a commercial airplane, what do? Can you stand up straight and walk down the aisle?
Yes, I can. I see exactly where you are going with this. Because I can walk on the floor of the plane, I am on the plane.
You got it. If the vehicle has a floor space or a deck that you can walk across while moving, English treats it like a surface. So you are on a bus, on a train, and on a ship.
Wow, that is actually brilliant. So it is not about the metal box at all. It is about how my body physically interacts with the space.
Exactly. We usually call it the walk-around rule. If you can stand up and walk around, you are on it. If you have to sit folded up, you are in it.
That solves years of confusion for me. But wait, I have a strong objection. What about a bicycle or a motorcycle? I cannot walk around on a bicycle, but I am pretty sure I am not in a bicycle.
Fair point. If you ever figure out how to get in a bicycle, please take a picture for me. But you actually already know the answer from our place triangle.
The triangle? Let me think about this. The middle of the triangle was the word on, and that was for flat surfaces and streets. Oh, a bicycle seat is just an open surface.
Yes, you are sitting directly on the surface of the vehicle. There are no walls around you, just like sitting on a horse or riding on a surfboard.
Okay, so open surfaces are on, walkable floors are on, tiny enclosed containers are in. This is actually a very reliable system.
It really is. It takes away the frustrating guesswork. But there is one limitation you have to watch out for.
Oh no. The dreaded English exceptions. Bring it on. What is the limitation?
It is not really an exception. It just changes based on the exact vehicle. A commercial airplane is on. But what if you climb into a tiny two-person fighter jet?
Oh, I see. Well, I definitely cannot walk around in a fighter jet. I am strapped tightly into a small cockpit. So I am in a fighter jet?
Exactly. And a huge ocean cruise ship is on a ship. But what about a tiny wooden rowboat where you sit completely still?
I would say I am in a rowboat. Wow. The logic holds up perfectly. It just depends on the specific reality of the vehicle.
Exactly. Once you know the rule, you can figure out the correct preposition for a vehicle you have never even seen before.
All right, I feel equipped for the real world now. Time, geography, and transportation. But this is the digital age. What about the internet, our phones, and screens?
Digital spaces are actually very consistent. Think about the physical device first. You look at a flat glass screen, right?
Right, my phone is just a smooth piece of glass.
Because it is a surface, you are on your phone, and that logic extends to the digital spaces displayed on it. You are on a website, on the internet, and on an app.
Okay, that makes sense, because I am scrolling on a flat surface. Does that apply to older technology too? Like television?
It does. We say on television, on the radio, and on a podcast. Originally, these were broadcast waves hitting a physical receiver. It acts like a digital surface.
Wow. So, I can watch a movie on television while looking at a recipe on my phone. What about an email or a file?
That is the one shift. A file is treated as a three-dimensional container holding data. So information is in an email, in a folder, or in a spreadsheet.
Ah, so I am browsing on the website, but I am reading the text in the article. Or looking at a face in a photograph.
Exactly. The photo is the container holding the image. Now, let's put it all together. I want to give you a rapid-fire test. I will describe a situation, and you make a complete sentence using our rules.
Oh boy, a pop quiz. All right, I am ready. Throw it at me.
Situation 1. You are sitting inside a normal taxi. The day is Tuesday, and you are reading a text message.
Let me think. A taxi is a tight container I have to fold myself into, so I am in a taxi. Tuesday is a specific day, so on Tuesday. And a text message is displayed on a screen, so on my phone.
Put it all into one fluid sentence.
On Tuesday, I was in a taxi, reading a message on my phone.
Perfect. You just used 3 different prepositions correctly without memorizing a list. Here is situation 2. This is a difficult one.
Bring it on. I have the triangle and the walk-around rule in my head.
You are standing outside an exact address, 100 Broadway. It is exactly 8 a.m., and you are waiting for a train.
Oh, combining time, geography, and transport. Okay, an exact address map pin is at 100 Broadway. The exact clock time is at 8 a.m. A train has a walkable floor, so I am getting on a train.
Let's hear the final sentence.
At 8 a.m., I was at 100 Broadway, waiting to get on a train.
You absolutely nailed it. See? No more guessing.
This changes everything. I honestly used to think English speakers just memorized every single combination.
A lot of native speakers think it is random too, because they never learned the invisible rules. But the physical logic is always there.
Having a system feels much better than my strategy from yesterday, which was basically closing my eyes and typing whatever word felt lucky.
Yes, that strategy clearly failed. Your poor text message was a complete disaster.
Okay, it really was. But I am officially reformed. No more meeting on the cafe at the morning.
Thank goodness. You can finally just meet me at the cafe in the morning.
I will definitely be there. I think my brain is finally organized. Are we ready to review some of this useful vocabulary?
Yes, it is time for meaning moments. Let's look at 5 useful expressions from today's conversation that you can start using immediately.
I will start with the first one, which is the biggest trap for English learners. We talked about a direct translation.
Exactly. A direct translation is when you take a sentence in your native language and change it word by word into English, without adjusting the grammar.
And as we learned today, with prepositions, direct translation completely fails. You have to learn the English concept, not just swap the words.
Right. If you try a direct translation for time or space, the system usually crashes. Our second phrase is a bit more descriptive. I said that you crossed the threshold.
I love that word. A threshold is the physical entrance or doorway to a building. It is the exact line where outside becomes inside.
Beautifully explained. When you cross the threshold, you move from being generally at a location to physically being in the container. Let's practice the pronunciation. Repeat. Threshold.
Threshold.
Perfect. You can also use it metaphorically, like, I have a high threshold for pain, meaning you can handle a lot before it hurts.
That is a great bonus use. Okay, moving to number 3. When we tested the walk-around rule on a tiny rowboat, I told you the logic holds up.
Yes, to hold up. It means to remain true, strong, or valid, even when it is tested or challenged.
Right. You can talk about a physical object, like, I hope this old bridge holds up, but we usually use it for ideas or rules.
Exactly. If a coworker presents a new strategy, you might say, the plan looks good, but will it hold up under pressure?
That is very useful for the workplace. Number 4 is an adjective. You gave me a rapid-fire test earlier.
Rapid fire means very fast and continuous. It comes from the way a machine gun fires without stopping.
But in conversation, it just means a series of quick things, usually questions. If a boss asks you 20 questions in 1 minute, that is a rapid-fire interrogation.
Yes. Or in a job interview, they might ask you a series of rapid-fire questions to see how quickly you can think.
And because I survived your rapid-fire questions today, you told me that I nailed it. That is our final idiom.
To nail it, this just means you did something perfectly, or exactly right. Imagine hitting a physical nail perfectly on the head with a hammer.
It is such a common phrase. If your friend is nervous about a presentation and they do a great job, you immediately say, "You nailed it."
Let's practice that one out loud. Repeat. Nail it.
Nail it. Now, speaking of nailing it, it is time for some guided practice. Let's see if the listener can nail these prepositions.
That is right. I am going to give you an incorrect sentence. I want you, the listener, to pause the audio, use our triangle rules, and say the correct version out loud.
Oh, I love playing the strict teacher. Let me give them a terrible sentence. Listen carefully. Meet me in Friday, in the train, at the afternoon.
Wow, that is painful to hear. Okay, listener, let's fix it piece by piece. Friday is a specific day in the middle of our triangle. So, what is the word?
It should be on Friday.
Next is the train. Remember the physical test. Can you stand up and walk around inside a train? Yes.
Because it has a walkable floor, you are on a train.
Finally, the afternoon. That is a giant, broad block of time at the widest part of the triangle.
So it is in the afternoon.
Put it all together. Say it out loud right now.
Meet me on Friday, on the train, in the afternoon.
If you got that right, you absolutely nailed it.
I see what you did there, bringing the vocabulary right back into the practice.
I try my best. Let's do one more practice sentence, focusing on places. Here is the bad sentence. I am sitting at a taxi on London.
Okay, fix the geography first. London is a huge city with borders. It belongs at the wide top of the triangle.
So you are in London. Now, what about the taxi? Do the physical test. Can you walk around?
No, you have to fold yourself up and squeeze inside. It is a tight container, so you are in a taxi.
Let's hear the final corrected sentence.
I am sitting in a taxi in London.
Excellent work today. Practicing these out loud is the fastest way to train your brain to stop guessing.
It really is. You have to train your mouth to feel the physical difference between the words.
How are you feeling about that text message now, Jake?
I want to delete it from my phone, but I feel much better. I finally have a reliable system instead of a guessing game.
That is the goal. You do not need to memorize a dictionary. Just remember the triangle.
Right. The wide top is in for general blocks and cities. The middle is on for days and flat surfaces. And the sharp point is at for exact times and map pins.
Perfect. And for vehicles, just try to stand up. If you can walk around, you are on it. If you have to crouch down, you are in it.
That physical test is a game changer. It makes the language feel real.
Your small action step today is to test it. Every time you arrive somewhere, ask yourself if you are in, on, or at that location.
That is a great habit. And speaking of locations, where are you right now while listening to Everyday English Learning?
Leave a comment and tell us your location using the correct preposition. Are you in a car? On a train? At the library?
We read every comment. If this episode cleared up the confusion, please subscribe and share it with a friend.
Remember, language is not just a list of rigid rules. It is a physical description of the space you move through every day.
Look at the real world, and the grammar will follow.
Beautifully said. I'm Lily.
And I'm Jake.
Thank you for listening. We will see you next time.
Stay curious and try not to meet anyone on a cafe. Goodbye.